And how do you do, buckaroos? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. I am back again at New Province. Yes, I am. But they have one here I hadn't had before. It's their Citadel Belgium Triple or Tripel, if you will. A medley of fruity esters reminiscent of white peaches, complemented by mild spiciness and malty sweetness. Key ingredients: Pilsner, Vienna, and aromatic malts. They do not mention hops. 8%, 35 IBUs. So there you go. So yeah, actually, a beer like this, hops are really inconsequential. They're really there just to break up the monotony, to clean her up at the end. You expect a beer like this. You expect a beer like this to be very fruity. So 8%, a triple can typically run anywhere between 8 to 10%.
You're about to get green by the Volkswagen.
Let's see. Medley of fruity esters reminiscent of white peaches. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of spiciness on the nose, actually, that they mentioned. White peaches, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure I know what a white peach is, to be honest with you. But it is fruity. It does what a beer like this is supposed to. It's very interesting, though. Yeah, you do get that a whole lot of big fruit right in the middle. They say white peaches. I'm going to say a combination of peaches and pears. Spiciness, yes, mild spiciness. I'm going to say reminiscent of coriander and nutmeg specifically. It is 8%, but it is amazingly drinkable. I gotta tell you, I mean, if you've watched me before, you know, I mean, I've talked about this brewery. I think this is the one brewery that every beer geek needs to watch. I mean, people tend to look at the East Coast and the West Coast and they forget about everything in the Midwest or the South. This, I guess, is north, even northwest Arkansas. I guess is considered South. Man, there are some great breweries in this part of the country, and this one, in my opinion, is one to watch. This is one every beer geek should be paying attention to. This is one that every beer geek should want to visit. Forget about Prairie Artisan, forget about Perennial Artisan, forget about Side Project, forget about any of those others you may have heard about. I'm telling you, folks, New Province, I'm ahead of the curve on this one. In 5 years, this is going to be the brewery that every beer geek is talking about. This beer, just like everything else they do here, is fantastic. They have a double IPA on the menu as well. I almost ordered that until she pointed out that the Citadel was just put on. It's been a few months since I was in here, but the last time I was in here, they had their basil double IPA, which was just amazingly good. I gotta tell you, folks, you gotta have this beer. Again, they say white peaches. I'm going to say it's a combination of peaches and pears. It's an amazing brew. It's a great brewery. I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. We'll talk to you later. Well, how do you do, buckaroos? I'm back. So I want to do a final, I don't know, just a little bit extra for this video. I said I was trying to come up with spices earlier, and I said coriander. I was wrong. It's not coriander. The bartender and I were talking about the different spices, and then she was telling me what she got from this beer. I was telling her what I got from this beer, and then she mentioned cardamom. That's the spice. It wasn't coriander I was tasting. It was cardamom. And just sometimes that right one doesn't come to you at that moment. I have whole cardamom at home, and sometimes I use it whole or I grind it myself. Man, that was the spice. It's kind of a cardamom, not coriander, man. But I am getting some nutmeg, and she was talking about some of the other things she was getting in it. But yeah, white peach. I am feeling some pears. So I guess I'm not familiar with the white peaches. Usually the white peach is very mild. So maybe my palate taste, or my brain interpreting the flavors I'm getting as peach and pear are really what a white peach is. And see, that's the thing about beer tasting, right? So we can only taste what we know. If you don't know flavors, if you've never had certain things, you can't taste that flavor. So when someone says you're wrong, well, you're not wrong. You taste what you know. So there you go. Don't be pretentious. Enjoy what you like. But I gotta tell you, New Province, Citadel Belgian Tripel, or Citadel Tripel, whichever you choose to pronounce it. Hey, you gotta try it. This place is awesome.